Well, great evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We want to welcome you to this basics, back to the basics call. As you log on, drop where you're calling from in the chat. We want to know where you're representing. All right. Great evening from Claremont. Hello, hello, hello from Jacksonville. Great evening from Lauderhill. Okay. Good evening from Minnesota. And as you log on, drop your affirmations in the chat. We know that everything is created from a word. So make sure that you drop your affirmations in the chat. And our foundational affirmations are I am a master trader. I am the signal. All my trades end in profit. I am 777. I am anointed for wealth. See, these are powerful phrases, and we have to expect to win while we're trading and in life. So drop it in the chat. Great evening from Toledo. I see you. Hello, hello. Hello from Jacksonville. Okay, Jacksonville, I see you. Good evening from Illinois. Miramar. Good evening from Orlando. I am an educated BYOB master trader. I love it. I love it. I am the big bank. Good evening from Chattanooga. This is BYOB worldwide. Great evening from Cleveland. Hello, hello from California. From Spicer, Minnesota. Good evening from Columbus, Ohio. Great evening from Chicago, because I am divine. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Great evening from Baytown, Texas. Hello, hello from Orlando. As you log on, drop it in the chat. Great evening from Cleveland, from Miami. And if you're new to the call, drop a 111 in the chat. If this is your first time dialing into this Zoom event, drop a 111 in the chat. And if you're still learning how to cash out, drop a 222 in the chat. Good evening from the Bahamas. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to all the newbies. Welcome. Great evening from Philadelphia. Hello, hello. All right, we're going to go ahead and get this basics call started. I'm excited to be able to have the privilege to share this platform with all of the powerful leaders who pour into us to make sure that we are educated traders and profitable traders. My name is Tanya Anderson, otherwise known as the PIP Master or Master P. You know, I have a 25-year background and experience in this industry. We've had a tremendous amount of success. We've helped tens of thousands of people around the globe have success by being entrepreneurs from home. And in September of 2019, I was introduced to this platform called BYOB and was blown away by the simplicity behind the strategy that was born and God breathed by the trade whisperer herself, Miss Tasha M. Dyer. It changed my trading forever. I struggled for months, and we don't like to use those words, but it was my truth back then. From March to September, I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew for a fact if one person could do it, I could. And so by the grace of God, I was introduced to the BYOB platform. I plugged in, I stayed connected. And by January of 2020, I was able to begin to cash out because of this very, very simple strategy and approach to getting our profits out of the market. So I'm excited to be able to empower each and every one of you tonight. And we're going to talk about the basics. So BYOB, be your own bank, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to know was born by the visionary, Mr. Gerald D. Rogers. I believe it's important to know your history and where you come from and the foundation of a great movement. We've seen a lot of movements in history, but this is the only economic movement, the largest economic movement, and we're going to change the world forever because of his vision. He has 25 years experience in the investment banking world, mortgage lending, residential and commercial side. He's a business success coach and mentor. He's a minister. He's a real estate developer. But most of all, he has a love for helping and empowering people. This is his ministry. And then we have the trade whisperer herself, Tasha M. Dyer, who pours her soul into making sure that we know exactly what to do to execute these trades. She has her background is that she's an MBA recipient. She has her MBA, a licensed financial advisor, a retired U.S. Army major. Is that powerful? Clay County Officer of the Year, real estate background, as well as a mom. She is just someone that you would call a superwoman because she does it all, she has it all, and she's willing to pour into us this God-breathed strategy. And then we have none other than Dr. Craig Bythewood, the finance doctor. Ladies and gentlemen, he has his PhD in finance and economics. He's a consultant. He's been a CFO. He consults CFOs and CEOs so that their companies can run smoothly. He's a professor. He's a dad. He's a girls basketball coach. But most importantly, he avails himself to us twice a week to get our minds right, because everything starts with the proper mindset. And he is willing to answer any financial question that you have free of charge on this platform. I believe this is a dream come true with this dream team we have with our BYOB movement. And then, ladies and gentlemen, leadership breeds other leaders. So you can tell the strength of a leader by the leaders they develop, or identify and then develop, because you can't make someone a leader. You have to identify them and attract them. And so this is our second generation of educators. This is an exciting time. It represents growth and expansion. And I'm blessed to share the platform with the second generation. Firstly, we have Fadia Thompson, the queen of the indices. She's our indices educator. She is on Monday through Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, teaching us how to capitalize on the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, the German 30, SPX 500, you name it. She's the expert. She cashes out daily. She walks her talk. And then we have the HFX sniper, Miss Bonita Brantley. She is on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. She is our trading diva. She has mastered the art of trading with binary options, high frequency foreign exchange pairs. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a power-packed platform. And then yours truly, I am the BYOB Cash Out Basics Educator, Master P, the Pip Master, and we're going to go over the basics so that when you leave this call tonight, you know exactly what to do to cash out in the market. Now, BYOB, Be Your Own Bank, is the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know how powerful that is? You were selected, you were moved to be a part of this movement. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on the line tonight. And so we have some work to do. Our goal, ladies and gentlemen, is to impact, empower, educate 2 million families by March 28th, 2022. How are we going to do that? It's very simple. We're going to enroll. We're going to teach and profit. So you'll enroll, you'll learn, and you will profit. And then we will pass it on to everybody we know. Because when you believe in something that works, that's for the benefit of the good, you share it with people. So that is our Be Your Own Bank vision. We will see that vision come to pass. How are we going to do it? We are going to affirm what we believe. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that our words are creative. And so we have these foundational affirmations that we say daily, we write them daily, we record them and listen to them daily. And so we can impregnate our subconscious mind. And with that will come the proper actions that we need to take in order to walk this out. So here are the affirmations you want to become very comfortable with saying to yourself in the mirror, listening to every single day. I am a BYOB master trader. I am the signal. All my trades end in profit. I am an educated trader. I am a profitable trader. I am 777. I am anointed for wealth. I am a billionaire. If you're a billionaire, drop a 777 in the chat, because we're talking about who we are right now so that we can then bring it to life. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when you have a positive mind, then you have positive vibes. And when you have positive vibes, you create a positive life. Positive things are attracted to you because of your mind, your vibes, your life. And so that is what we're laying. That's the foundation of these affirmations. And then we have these very important terms that you want to learn. Remember, in school, you have vocabulary words so that you could learn how to communicate effectively. Well, when we are establishing a relationship with the market, we want to know how to communicate while we're taking our trades, communicate with the charts. We want to understand what's being said. So these are some of the important terms that you want to learn and master as you are learning this skill. Number one is an indicator. What is an indicator? An indicator is a tool that's used to predict future prices. An indicator is a tool that is used to predict future prices. And then we have the stochastic. This is our leading indicator. You know, when you're dancing with someone and they're taking the lead, you follow. So this is our leading indicator. And then we have two lagging indicators that follow the stochastic. So the leading indicator measures the momentum of price and gives clues about trend shifts. It's used to indicate when an asset moves into an overbought and an oversold position. And we will point that out live on our charts today. An overbought and an oversold position, those are very important starting points when you're a beginner. And then the Hikinashi candles, our lagging indicator, it's trend candles that help us identify whether the market is pushing an asset's value up, down, or sideways. And then we have the PSAR, which is the parabolic stop and reverse. This is a lagging indicator. It looks like a small dot or a small cross that follows the Hikinashi candles. It outlines the candle. It's used to determine your stop loss, your entry and or exit points for your trades. So take a screenshot of these, learn them, so that you can communicate and know what the market is saying, because we're on market talks tonight. And in order to communicate, you have to have a strong vocabulary. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we use a tool that banks use. I want you to understand, banks use our money to compound their money. And they use the same tools that we have access to on this platform, one of which is the IML Web Analyzer, otherwise known as the Vibrata, most recently known as the Vibrata. And when we are analyzing the charts within the Web Analyzer or the Vibrata, we are using 3 simple steps. So of course, we talked about the stochastic. So that is our leading indicator. At the dance, you got to follow the leader. So you start with the stochastic. Then you review your Hikinashi candles, and then you locate your PSAR. You understand that when that PSAR flips, that's an indication that you can make a move if everything else is in alignment. And then that PSAR shows you where to place your stop loss. So let's talk about a sell. When we're trading, a sell is when price is decreasing in value. So the stochastic, when we're looking for a sell and we're identifying where the stochastic is located, it is located around the 80. Now, this is a marker we'll show you when we get into the chart. So what we're looking for is the blue line to cross over the red line in a downward momentum or downward motion. And the line above 80, that's a stronger sell. It has even more momentum. Number 2, you will identify red candles that have a flat top. So this indicates a strong sell. Now, when you have a wick that forms on the top of the candle, it indicates a trend reversal. So keep that in mind. When you have a wick that forms on the top of the candle, it indicates a trend reversal. And then the PSAR, these are traveling above the candles. and they add extra confirmation, and they allow for you to identify where to position your stop loss. Now, when you're looking for a buy, this is when price is increasing in value. You look for a green candle heading up. The stochastic is around the 20 for a buy. So the stochastic, remember, that's your leading indicator. So that's what you look for first. And then you look for your blue line that crosses over the red line in an upward position or momentum or motion. And this line below the 20 means that it's a stronger buy because it's going to be heading up from a lower position. Number two, you're going to identify the green candle, the first one with the flat bottom and a peace are underneath it. This indicates a strong buy. And keep in mind, when a wick forms on the bottom of the candle, it indicates a trend reversal. And the peace hour will end up flipping from above the red candle to below the first green candle with the flat bottom. That means that, hey, this is a good time to check Confluence. Well, you've probably already checked Confluence, and we'll talk about Confluence in a moment. That just means agreement. And then you are able to then take your trade. So the peace hour again is going to be below the first green candle. The candle with the flat bottom is going to be an indication that you are ready to take your trade. And this again is where you identify your stop loss. So we're going to go into the vibrato because we want you all to see what this tool looks like. So I'm going to stop the share really quickly so that I can then go into the vibrato, the web analyzer. So bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, for 1 second while I get this screen share going. Here we go, here we go, here we go. And I want you all to let me know when you see the vibrato. So when you see the vibrato, drop a 111 in the chat. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Great. Excellent. So this is the vibrato. This is the tool that allows for us to evaluate what's going on in the market and to take profit from what's happening in the market. So what are you looking at? When I first saw this, I didn't know what to look at first. It seems like a lot going on this chart, but you'll find this to be very your best friend. It's going to be very simple to read once you know what to look for. So when we open up the vibrato, ladies and gentlemen, right here on the left, you are going to see triggers. Now, these triggers indicate movement in the market. So we are going to look for triggers to let us know what to evaluate. When we click on one of these triggers, it moves us to that currency pair. And so let me get rid of this. All right. It moves us to the currency pair that's having motion in the market right now. So ladies and gentlemen, my favorite currency pair is GBP USD. And I learned this when I started, listening to Ms. Dyer and following her lead. She would talk about the liquidity with GBP, and I started studying it, and I fell in love with GBP because I am a scalper by nature. I like to get in, get out, get my profit for the day and keep it moving because, I have a lot on my plate. So I want to be profitable by 9 o'clock in the morning. And I have found with GBP USD, I can take 3 to 5 trades per day because of the liquidity in the market and hit my goal. So let's talk about what we see on the chart with GBP USD. You see the asset. This is the currency pair. This is what you're going to be evaluating. Now, what I love about this arena is that we can look at any asset that's traded in the market. So we have, if you look down here, you can click there for the foreign exchange alerts, the Forex pairs. You can click there to change it to the crypto alerts. Click this button to change to the indices. You click this button to change to commodities, and then you can type in your abbreviations for any stock that you want to trade as well. So this is the full gamut. You can do it all, and then we'll show you tomorrow night with our trading diva, how to position yourself to take advantage of binary options. But here you see the asset, and then here you see the different time frames of charts that are available. So we need the different time frames so that we can evaluate where the market is going with the trends of the market, which are represented with the higher time frames, and then the movement is represented in the lower time frame. So you have 1M, 3M, 5M. M stands for minute. And then you have 1H, 4H here, it stands for hour. So when you click on the 15-minute chart, F15M, this is the foundation of our BYOB strategy. So we are going to be evaluating off of the 15-minute chart. So let me make this a little bigger so that you all can have a clear picture of what we're looking for when we're executing our trades using this strategy. So with the 15-minute chart, ladies and gentlemen, what does that mean to you? Well, if you look here on the far right, every 15 minutes, you're going to have a new candle form right here, right to the left of price. So everything beyond the first candle that you see to the far right, everything to the left of that, this is all historical data. So we evaluate what's happened in the past so that we can dictate what's going to happen in the future. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is a skill that anybody can learn as long as you know what to look for. Now, when I was in school and I learned about charts, the left side of the chart is where our focus was, and then the bottom part of the chart. Well, this is just the opposite. So when you're evaluating charts within the market, you are looking on the right-hand side, and this is the actual price of this GBP USD foreign exchange pair. So you'll see the price here, and then on the bottom, you'll see the time and the date. Now, this is very important because as you begin to trade, you want to use a trading journal so that you can record what's happening. Then that is one way that you establish a relationship with the market so that you know what trade you took, what time of day, what the results were, etc. The price of entry, the stop loss, etc. So that is the price. This is the time and the day. So let's look at and identify the three indicators. So again, the leading indicator is called the stochastic. It is at the bottom of the chart. It is this blue and red line that's traveling together, parallel to each other within this purple area here. And then the range for it's called an oscillator. The range for this oscillator is between 0 and 100, but our focus is between the 20 marker and the 80 marker. So when you think about positioning, when you think about where this is going, think about traveling on the highway. When you're traveling on the highway, you see mile markers. They indicate how far you've come or how far you've gone while driving on the highway. And so this is indicating where price is traveling within the market. It indicates the momentum, if it's trending, if it's consolidating. So this is your leading indicator. And then you look up and you see your lagging indicators. So these red and green candles, these are called Hikinashi candles. Hikinashi is the name of the person who came up with this indicator. So these are candles that measures the trend of the price that's happening right now in the market. And then you have the PSAR, these little dots that travel underneath the green candles, above the red candles, etc. These show you when trends are shifting, and you also use the PSARs to evaluate where your stop loss will be. So let's talk about the first step in our strategy. We are going to look for the blue line crossing over the red line, heading in a downward momentum around the 80. Doesn't have to be right on this line for the 80 marker. It's around the 80. So it could be a little bit above, a little bit below. As long as you see the blue line crossing over the red, heading in a downward momentum, that is the first thing you look for when you're looking for a strong sell on the 15-minute chart. So when you see the blue line and the red line around the 80 or above the 80, that indicates that it went from buying. So it comes from the bottom, travels up from buying, and then it's turning around to sell. Just remember, what goes up must come down. And the higher this is up around the 80, the more momentum you have. And so then you want to identify a red candle with a flat top and a peace sign flip above the red candle with a flat top. So here you see the crossover happen here. So now I'm going to move my eye up and I'm going to look for the first red candle with the flat top, which is here. But then you want to look for the first red candle with the flat top and a peace sign above that red candle. So here we have the red candle, flat top, and a peace sign above the red candle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of our tools that allow for us to evaluate historical data in the market. You don't need this when you're trading live because you're going to be right here at the edge. So you'll know exactly where you are on all the charts. We're just using this as a markup so that when I move to the 5-minute chart and the 1 hour, I know my place in the market and I can evaluate where I am and what price is doing. So here we have the perfect setup here. We have the blue line crossing over the red candle with the flat top and the peace sign. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check for confluence. Time frame confluence allows for you to have more accuracy when you're taking a trade. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the 5-minute chart to see if my blue candle indicates that price is selling on the 5-minute chart as well. So for each 15-minute candle, guess what? We have 3 5-minute candles. So it's 3 times further back on the chart as it would be on the 15-minute chart. So here we are. Here's the blue arrow. What am I going to do? I'm going to put my cursor here and follow it all the way down to the stochastic because this again is the leading indicator. Don't get distracted by the candles. You always want your steps to be directed by the stochastic. So here we are. We have the blue and the red line traveling in a downward momentum. So that's telling me that price is still selling. Now I'm going to go up and I'm going to look. I see red candles heading in a downward, coming from the downward momentum. If this was a live trade, I wouldn't see to the right of the candles, but I can see that now because this is historical data. And then I have a peace sign. So this is still in a sell. So that's telling me, yes, I'm in agreement with the 15-minute chart. I'm the 5-minute chart. So now we're going to go to the 1 hour chart. The 1 hour chart is telling us where the trend is in the market. So the head of the household is the 4-hour chart. Then comes the mom, and she's second best when we're looking at these trades. So now I've identified where my arrow is. I'm going to go down and I'm going to look for the stochastic because this is the leading indicator. So I do have the blue and the red line in a downward motion, heading downward towards the 20 from the 80. I do have a red candle and a peace sign. Is the peace sign above it too? No, but I do have a red candle. So this is agreement. So on the 1 hour, you don't have to have a perfect setup. It just has to look like it's entering into a strong sale. And what does that mean to you? It means that the stochastic, the blue and the red line, are heading in a downward momentum. And then you have a red candle. It doesn't have to be a full body candle. It doesn't have to have a peace sign above it, just so that you have a red candle. And if the stochastic is heading down strongly, you know that you have confluence when that is in place with the red candle. So you would go back to your 15-minute, you have confluence, and you would be able to take a trade. So let's look at how far this actual price dropped from this entry point on the 15-minute chart. So we are looking for 10 pips and cashing out. So we're going to pull this tool. It's a ruler. It's going to measure how far down this price dropped, and we'll be able to determine how many pips we could have taken in this particular trade. So here we are. It dropped. Well, of course, we're beginners, so we're going to just take 10 pips and we're going to cash out. But look at this drop. You could have gone for about 70 pips based upon your pip reaction time. Your pip reaction time is the amount of time that it takes for you to evaluate what we just went over, to get your phone out, get to your MetaTrader 4, find the currency pair, enter the trade, modify the trade. So that is all entailed in your pip reaction time. So the faster you can do all of that, the better. So what I do, ladies and gentlemen, is I already have my phone out to MetaTrader 4. I already have GBP USD up and I'm ready to press the button before I even look at the charts. That way I have a lesser of a pip reaction time and my accuracy for the trade is even better. So those are just some things you want to keep in mind when you're preparing to enter a trade. So that is a sell that represents price going down. So now what we're going to do, we're going to identify a buy where price is heading in an upward momentum. So what are we going to do first? We're going to look for the stochastic. We're going to look for that blue line crossing over the red, heading in an upward momentum from around the 20. So it could be a little bit below, a little bit above, or on the line, just as long as it's around the 20 marker. So you look for that first. And then you're going to move up to the candles. You're going to look for a green candle with a flat bottom. So I'm going to look for a green candle. This has a flat bottom. However, I don't have a PSAR beneath it. So when we say we're looking for the PSAR to flip, if you notice the PSAR is above this green candle, but once it travels, and then flips and ends up beneath this green candle with a flat bottom, then that's an indication that this is a good time to execute the trade. So my stochastic is still heading up, but I had to wait for my green candle with the flat bottom to appear and the PSAR beneath it. So now what I'm going to do, because we're evaluating historical data, I am going to pull an arrow pointing up to this green candle that has the PSAR beneath it. And then I'm going to check my time frame confluence. So I'm going to look at my 5-minute chart to see if this is in a buy on the 5-minute chart. So what am I going to look for first? I'm going to look for the stochastic and where it's positioned. Now, here's an example, ladies and gentlemen, of this being way overbought on the 5-minute chart. So the stochastic traveled all the way from the 20, it passed the 80, and now it's going sideways. So this is overbought. So now I'm going to figure out, okay, the 1 hour is going to really tell me what I'm to do in this scenario, because if it's overbought like that, I have a little question mark in my mind as it relates to the 15-minute chart, because it could begin to turn around and go into the opposite direction if the 1 hour is not in agreement. So let's see how strong the 1 hour is when we're looking for this green candle and the stochastic showing us that it's buying. So here we are. We're on the 1 hour chart. My first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the stochastic. Now, if I'm looking at this, I'm going to bring it all the way over so we can see what is truly showing here at this moment in time. So if you look at this, it's not really pointing up yet. A little curve up, but not to my comfort zone. I want to see it really pointing up before I enter a trade. And the other thing is we have a red doji candle. So although it looks like it could be setting up, it's not in a position where I would be comfortable taking that trade. Now, what we can do, because it looks like it's moving into that buy position, because this is a GBP pair, we can drop down to the 30-minute chart and check for confluence. And that's only because this stochastic is way overbought and it's kind of curving up a little bit, but not much. So let's look at the 30-minute to see if it's confluent there. So here we go. All right, so we have the stochastic here. It's heading up. And then you do have a strong green candle that represents a buy. So I would take the trade because I understand how GBP moves, and I would know, okay, to myself, based upon what I've seen in the past, I could probably get 10 pips here. So let me go back to the 15-minute chart. But keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, 1% doubt, don't take the trade, because you rather wait for the perfect setup than be guessing. And so because of some of the things we've learned as, more advanced traders, I would definitely take this trade. However, if you are not 100% comfortable with what you see, wait until the perfect setup. So if I would have entered this trade here, let's see how far up this would have gone. So I would have entered here. So that would have gone about 28 pips or so. We would have gotten our 10 pips and cash out. So ladies and gentlemen, the candle here is green. The stochastic is pointing up. So I would have taken that trade. On the 30-minute, it's green here. The stochastic is pointing up. So I would have taken that trade. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the basics. That is the 10 pip and cash out. And so ladies and gentlemen, this is very simple. Do you understand that people go to school for years and years and years, and they come out and then they have to be trained in order to learn how to compound accounts? And we can do it in a matter of weeks with this simple strategy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the share here. And I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint presentation so that we can talk about how you actually look at our compounding chart. You know what? Before I do, I need to go back and show you how to set up your stop loss. So if you were entering this trade on the 15-minute chart, I'm going to take this arrow away. If I entered this trade here with this green candle, and the PSAR that have flipped here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my marker right beneath the PSAR, this dot here, and I'm going to look all the way over to the right. I'm going to look at price. It's at 1.41101, and that is going to be my stop loss that I enter in my MetaTrader 4 when I'm taking this trade. So why do I need a stop loss? Well, if I'm in a trade and something happens in the news and price reverses, then I don't wipe out my entire trade account. I have a stop loss in place to protect my assets. So that is how you would determine where you would place your stop loss. And then for a sell, I would put my cursor right here above the PSAR, above the first red candle that the PSAR flipped above. And then I would look over to my right, and then I would set my stop loss there at 1.42168. So that is how you determine where you place your stop loss with this strategy. All right. So we have those steps in place. Any questions, comments, testimonies before I go to the compounding chart? Just curious how you added your watch list on the right. Mine does not have that. Oh, okay. So for the watch list, you simply click on the strategy at the bottom. And then you see where it says hide chart details, watch list news. You click on and then save settings and reload. And then that'll bring your watch list up on the right. Now, sometimes, depending upon your browser, you might need to change your browser if it doesn't work out for you. But that's how you get that watch list over on the right there. All right. It looked like you were a little above the PSAR. Is it right on the first dot? Yes, right on the first dot above the PSAR. That's where you put your cursor. And again, it's an art, not a science. So you just don't want to be on the PSAR. because if your wick touches the PSAR, you might get stopped out of the trade prematurely. So you want it to be above or below the PSAR. All right. Let's see. When you use your stop loss in a high time frame, do you use 4 hour or 1 hour? If you're taking a long-term trade, so if you're taking a trade from the 1 hour, then you want to use the PSAR above the 1 hour candle. So if you're taking your trade off of the 4 hour and you're evaluating on the 1 hour or the day, then you evaluate from the PSAR above the red candle on the 4 hour chart or below the green candle on the 4 hour chart, just depending on which chart you're taking the trade off of. Please show how you put your stop loss in profit. Are you using the wick or the body of the candle to determine it? So when you say, am I using the wick or the body of the candle to determine my stop loss, I'm using the PSAR. And so with the sell, you're going to put your cursor above the PSAR that's above the first candle with a flat top for a sell. And then if you're looking at a buy, you're going to put your cursor below the PSAR with the flat bottom on the green candle. The first one that you see that the PSAR flipped underneath for a buy. But it has nothing to do with the wick for the stop loss. All right, so we're entering the trade. If you could keep your mics muted, we appreciate that. And we're going to go back to the slideshow presentation. Bear with me. So if you guys are excited, if this is simple for you and you believe you can cash out with this, I want you all to drop a 555 in the chat. Drop a 555 in the chat. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Good, good, good. Okay, so let's go back. Here we go. And if you can see the slideshow presentation, if you see the vibrato slide, I want you to drop a 111. Awesome. All right, here we go. So now we're going to get to the good part. We got to the good part. Remember Houdini? I'm dating myself, but I like that song. Anywho, here we are. This is the compounding chart. This is what you want to look at before you enter a trade so that you know where to set your lot size for your trade. So with the compounding chart, you determine the amount of money where you want to start in terms of your starting balance. But when you look at the compounding chart, you have column A. This represents the number of trades you're going to take. It could be trades per day, per week, per month. I'm just basing this example on one trade a day going for 10 pips. And so here we are. We started with $100, right? And here our growth, our profit is going to be 3%. That's where we set each trade. We expect a 3% profit. And this is the amount of the profit because it's going to increase. Why will it increase? Because every time you take a trade, your balance is going to increase, although the percentage of growth doesn't increase. It stays at 3%. It's going to compound because your profit is making your balance go up. So here in column D, you have the profit goal. So you know if you're going to take one trade at 3%, you want to set your lot size at 0.03. This is the lot size here. And then this is column F where you see 10. It stands for 10 pips. Remember, 10 pips and cash out. That's the BYOB cash out strategy. You're going for 10 pips and cashing out. So this is your take profit. So column E represents your take profit, which is 10 for beginners. Then your stop loss. We know that the PSAR allows for us to identify where our stop loss is going to be. And then this is what you enter in your MetaTrader 4 as your lot size. So it's going to be 0.03 for your first trade. So as your account balance increases, your lot size will begin to increase as well. And that is how you continue to compound your money. Okay. So this is with the starting balance of 100. So after 20 successful trades, you could have a balance of $180.61 starting out with $100 in your trade account. Now, there have been days when I've taken 10 trades, 15 trades. So you could do as many trades as you have time for and whatever the market calls for based upon what it's telling you to do. You don't have to stick to one trade a day, because if you see the market moving and it's telling you I'm ready, then you take the trade. Now, the next slide, we have an example of a balance of $500. So you can put as much money as you want into your broker account. You can put $50 in for starters, $100, $500, whatever you whatever you feel comfortable risking. Don't put more in there than you can afford to risk. So that's just my, if you don't want to put your mortgage in there, end up missing a mortgage payment. Are you with me? So make sure you trade responsibly. So here's your beginning balance with $500 with a 3% profit goal. You can see that your lot size is going to be higher. It's going to be 0.15. So you can reach your goal faster the higher the balance you start with. Okay. But remember, you're going to start in your demo account. So you're going to start with fake money, and you're going to then use your live account once you know for a fact your accuracy rate is at 92% or higher, like the strategy calls for. So with the $500 balance after 20 successful trades, you can turn that $500 into $900 plus. So think about how long it would take you to earn that if you put $500 in the bank. You wouldn't see that return. So this is powerful, ladies and gentlemen. And then if you start with a $1,000 balance, this is what I personally like to do. Start with the $1,000 balance. Now, remember, I'm a scalper, so I'm in and out. I'm looking for 10 pips, cashing out, and I'm done. So my goal is to take one trade a day. If I see more, I will take them. But a $1,000 balance with a 5% growth rate, I feel comfortable with, and this is all personal, but you want to be very conservative when you're trading. So the profit would be $50 for my first trade, and my lot size would be 0.50. So we're going to just focus on 10 pips and cashing out because this is a basics call. Now, if I took 20 trades in a month that were all profitable, then my balance would be $26.5330. Right? So let's look at how this can pan out in a 12-month period of time. This is the slide that keeps me up late at night and wakes me up early in the morning. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is powerful. Let me tell you something. If you just took one 10-pip trade a day with a beginning balance of $1,000, you could end up multiplying, compounding your money over time. Check out how this is growing over here. Your ending balance in your first month, $2,600, $4,300, $6,300, $8,800. 6 months in, $20,000, $39,000, $85,000. 9 months in, $204,000. 10 months in, $519,000. 11 months in, $1.3 million. 12 months in, $2.6 million. Ladies and gentlemen, now remember, this is a hypothetical example. It will never work out perfectly. However, this strategy has a 92% accuracy rate, ladies and gentlemen. And there have been several weeks that I've had 100% accuracy using this technique. Now, when your emotions are in check and you use discipline, you can be at a 100% profitable rate. With this strategy, because it's so simple. As long as you don't break any of the rules, don't add anything to the rules, don't take anything away from the rules, follow the rules, be very conservative, and you can have 100% closing ratio or profitable trading ratio. So at the end of 12 months, the goal would be to withdraw $1 million out of your account and start the next year with over $1 million. And guess what? That could be your $1 billion year. So where else? If this excites any of you all on the line, I want you to drop a 888 in the chat. If you're excited about a 12-month game plan where you can withdraw $1 million and still have more than that in your account and turn it into $1 billion. I don't know about you, but at Marquette University, when I was there from 1986 to 1991 studying business, no business course ever showed me how to compound my money and create wealth in such a short period of time. So this excites me like you wouldn't believe. Now, we know that numbers are perfect, people are not. What if you got this half right and you wound up with $500,000 at the end of 12 months? Yes, that's with 5% risk, starting with $1,000 balance. So you want to be very conservative with, and I won't say risk is profit. That's your profit goal, 5% per trade. So if you got this half right, that would be $500,000 at the end of the year. What if you had 250,000 at the end of the year, or 100,000 at the end of 1 year, taking one trade per day for 10 pips? That is powerful, ladies and gentlemen, and it doesn't require a lot of time, just a lot of discipline, patience, and profit. So we're going to move on. Get your phones out because we're going to teach you how to get comfortable pressing the button. Why? Because we play like we practice. So if you were a professional athlete and you were playing basketball, guess what? We would be doing layups, and free throws, right? So we want you to get your phones out. We want your phone, your MetaTrader 4 to be your friend. We want it to be just as simple as dialing a phone number, entering a trade. And we want you to get your pip reaction time to the best that it can be so that you can capitalize on this market. So let's go. Here we go. We're going to get our MetaTrader 4 out. So if you have not created an account, download MetaTrader 4, pick a broker, and you want to make sure you connect your broker account to your MetaTrader 4. If you need to learn how to do that, there are videos that will show you how to do it. Just go to the YouTube channel and we'll show you that in a moment. But we want you to get your MetaTrader 4 out right now and go into your demo account. And we're not going to look for a trade that we have set up and we've evaluated. We just want you to get comfortable pushing the button and knowing what you're looking for. So get your MetaTrader 4 out. We want you to go into your demo account. All right, so you start, get your MetaTrader 4, your screen will be open. It'll look like this. And you have a list of currency pairs. So we're gonna, the first currency pair you see, press it. So I don't care whatever the first one is, I want you to just press down on it. Then you're gonna see new order, open chart, symbol properties, and then advanced view mode. I want you to click new order. All right. So you'll see market execution already saved at the top. And we just are going to enter a trade. So let's set our lot size to 0.01 because we're just practicing. We just want you to be comfortable pressing the button, right? Okay, so we're going to set our lot size, which is right here in the middle at 0.01. And let's just hit the buy button. Boom. You'll see your order is open. All right. So now you'll see on the left, this is where you would place your stop loss. On the right, this is where you would set your take profit. So we're not going to set our stop loss because we haven't properly evaluated the trade, but we are going to set your take profit. We hit buy. So we're going to go for 10 pips and cashing out, right? So your buy, your take profit is going to be keyed in here on the right. So how do we do that? And I'm sorry if you don't have an iPhone. I will get to the iPhone in just a moment. So now you'll see your position is open, whatever currency pair you selected. I want you to press down on it until you see this box appear. So now we're going to click modify your order. And this isn't on the chart, but I'm going to walk you through it. So modify your order. And now you're going to see the price up in the top of your phone. It's in the blue shaded area. And this is if you have an Android. The price that got locked in once you took your trade, once you hit buy, that's the price that got locked in. So, and then you may not, so I don't know how this is going to work, but if I have NZD USD, so I am going to add 10 pips to the two numbers that are enlarged on my MetaTrader 4. And I'm going to go and I'm going to enter 0.72418 because the 3-1 would have been the highlighted numbers on my chart. So I just want you all to go through the motion, practice. You may not even understand what I'm saying, but just click on the green line and the number that's above that green line. I want you to add 10 pips to the two large numbers that are highlighted. So on mine, it would be 0.72418. And then I'm going to hit modify and I'm in the trade. So just go ahead, go as far as you can. I just want you to get accustomed to entering trades. So here we are. If you're on your iPhone, you open your MT4. Your screen will look like this. You click on your currency pair. You click trade. You'll see market execution. You want to key in your lot size here in the middle. Click on that, type in 0.01. And then you're going to hit buy by market. And so on the iPhone, your stop losses at the top, your take profits at the bottom. And so once you see your open position on the iPhone, the amount on the left, that's the amount that got locked in, and that's what you're going to add your 10 pips to. So I want you all to do this at least twice a day. At least. If you aren't trading and you're reluctant, just go ahead, do this twice a day. Get comfortable. It's how we learned how to use our cell phones. We didn't read a manual. We just started playing with the phone, right? So that's what you want to do with your MetaTrader 4. So in the beginning, this is how your trade account's going to look, right? You're going to have sales. You're going to be using 0.10. Depending upon what your starting balance would be, you might have 0.01. You're going to have blue that starts to show up in your MetaTrader 4. That means that you are taking profits. You want to see a sea of blue on the right side here, showing your profit. It shows the date, the time, and your profit, right? And then you're going to graduate where you're going to set a 1.00 lot size, where you have money coming in hand over fist every single day because you are the bank, ladies and gentlemen. This is called catching pips, right? So you want to have a wave, you want to ride the wave and then begin to drop 777 in the chat. And we have a chat on Telegram where there are thousands of people dropping their 777s, watching, getting excited about the possibility, being a part of this movement. And so we want you to use your resources, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. Take a screenshot of this page, because we want you to go to this website tonight, beyourownbankmovement.com, order your paraphernalia, get your t-shirts, your hats, wear something sharp, represent the bank. There's a shopping center there. There's educational tools there. There's videos, testimonies. There are files. You can actually find the compounding chart there. So go there, get accustomed to visiting this site where you can equip yourself to be your own bank and look like the bank. Then we have our YouTube channel, BYOB Challenge. Here's the, so it's Be Your Own Bank Movement if you Google it or search for it in YouTube. And then you want to make sure that you text BYOB Cash out to this phone number, 904-567-0634. This is the Telegram chat extension here. And then you got to enroll in the academy. That's your foundation. That's where look at my trade is in blue. All right. That's the academy. You want to make sure you enroll, learn so you can profit and take advantage of the powerful tools that the big banks use all over the world so you can compound your account and stay plugged in. You stay turned on when you stay plugged into these Zoom events. Get the calendar. You can find the calendars on our byobmovement.com. You can find it in our Telegram chat pinned to the top. So again, we're going to end with the vision. 2 million families financially impacted, educated, and empowered by March 28th, 2022. Enroll, learn so that you can profit. So what will it take to be your own bank? You're going to have to move. See, we've seen movements. We've seen the civil rights movement. We've seen women's rights, equal rights, right? But this is the only economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind, and it is the largest. So consider yourself blessed to be a part of this platform. Consider yourself blessed to be alive at this moment in time. We know for a fact, oh, I just cashed out 10 pips. Awesome. Consider yourself blessed to be empowered by the people like the visionary. We have a once in a lifetime opportunity to be equipped with the trade whisperer herself, who created this very simple strategy. And next, we have an opportunity to hear from the one and only finance doctor. You heard about him earlier. He has his PhD in finance, economics. He is a consultant. He's a girls basketball coach. He is a wise sage of